gunmakers have delivered some absolute jaw-dropping AR-15s at SHOT Show 2025. You could be into retro military clones or battle-ready CQB rifles. Either way, this year's lineup has something for everyone. In this video, we'll talk about 7 of the newest AR-15 rifles that are pushing the platform forward, some with cutting-edge innovations, others with battle-tested reliability, all of them worth keeping on your radar. If you're drawn to the older military-era ARs, Harrington and Richardson's retro IDF line might speak to you. They've recreated rifles that mirror what the Israeli Defense Forces used over the decades, from classic M16A1 versions to cut-down carbines. Each rifle has the scuffs, finish wear, and details you'd expect from a well-used IDF rifle, making them feel like historical pieces rather than brand-new clones. It's not just for show. H&R built them to match the original specs. The M16A1 has a 20-inch, 1-12 twist barrel that loves 55-grain M193. The triangle handguards, a 1 carry handle, and slender barrel evoke that Vietnam-era style. The IDF used thousands of these for years, so it's interesting to see them offered again, especially for collectors or folks who appreciate a vintage vibe. They also have the AR-15 variant, which the IDF called the Mutar. That's basically a short M16A1 with a 14.5-inch barrel and a collapsible stock. Perfect if you want an older style that's easier to handle in tight quarters. Meanwhile, the 13-inch minor version replicates what the IDF did when they chopped standard rifles for urban warfare. H&R includes an arm brace on that version, so it's classified as a pistol, no SBR tax stamp. At the range, these rifles handle like old-school M16s. They're lightweight, have moderate recoil, and run best with ammo that matches their barrel twist. The M16A1 is great for longer shots, and the shorter barrels excel in close quarters. Want a durable AR specifically geared for close quarters action? The Type 15 MCQB from Watchtower Firearms might win you over. Watchtower didn't just shrink a normal rifle. They built it from the ground up with a 10-inch handguard and components that can take a beating. The receivers are 7075 T6 forged aluminum, so you know they're tough, and the internals are black night-rided or coated for maximum resilience. At around 6.1 pounds, it's surprisingly quick to move around, and you still have enough mass to manage recoil effectively. The B5 systems. Type 23 grip feels comfortable in your hand, and the Tippmann T5 pistol brace extends or folds up so you can store or deploy it without hassle. You'll find an M-LOK handguard with plenty of rail for whatever extras you want. Light, laser, foregrip, you name it. The muzzle is capped with a standard flash hider, but since the barrel is threaded 1/2 by 28, you can add your favorite suppressor or muzzle brake. That makes it easy to tailor the rifle to your personal preferences. Inside, the Durabolt BCG keeps things running smoothly without gunk building up fast. Watchtower claims you won't spend as much time scraping carbon thanks to their design. In practice, the Type 15 MCQB is a comfortable blaster for defensive or tactical scenarios. It points quickly, transitions between targets without feeling nose-heavy, and the minimal recoil lets you stay on target for double taps. The simple mil-spec trigger might be a limiting factor for extreme precision, but for a short carbine meant for close ranges, it's fine. We've all seen hundreds of ARs by now, and a lot of them feel like the same rifle with a different paint job. The Evolve 15 from 51 changes the conversation. This isn't another parts bin special that slaps a brand name on generic pieces. It's designed and machined right here in the United States, from the 7075 T6 billet receivers to the 6061 T6 handguard. You know you're holding something that was built with care the moment you shoulder it. The alignment is spot on, and nothing rattles or shifts. One thing folks keep talking about is the integrated Arca Swiss rail under the handguard. If you've never run a tripod or bipod that attaches that way, you might not realize how handy it is. You won't have to fumble with adapters, and you can lock the rifle into position in seconds. That same handguard also gives you MLOK attachment points and a continuous top rail. Fast reloads are easier too, because the magwell flares out and shortens up, letting magazines seat quickly without fumbling. The Ambi Safety has a 45-degree throw, so it feels smooth and snappy, and the charging handle is oversized for an easier grip. Another major talking point is the RAC, Rapid Action Cam System. Instead of messing with takedown and pivot pins, you flip a selector switch and break the rifle open like a shotgun. Then you can pop the upper and lower apart. It's not just about convenience, it also locks everything more solidly, which can help with accuracy. Once you get it to the range, you'll notice how well it groups. That fluted .223 Wild Barrel hits the sweet spot for accuracy and speed, and the 4-port X-brake on the muzzle manages muzzle climb better than you'd expect. There's even an adjustable gas block to match your ammo, so you can dial it in for anything from lightweight practice rounds to heavier suppressed loads. Inside, a nickel-boron-coated BCG and a Hyperfire PDI GL trigger let you run the gun hard without worrying about failures or a gritty pull. The trigger breaks at an incredibly light 2 pounds, which is something you usually only see on custom builds. Aero Precision has been around for a while, and people often turn to them for reliable AR parts at decent prices. The M4E1 Pro is one of their newest rifles, and they've polished it up in ways that serious shooters will appreciate. Everything about it feels like a step above their standard offerings, especially the ambidextrous controls. They gave you a mirrored bolt catch, mag release, and safety so left-handed and right-handed shooters can both run it without compromise. This helps when you're practicing support-side shooting, and it makes clearing a jam or reloading that much more natural. Something you might notice when you get your hands on this rifle is the redesigned free-float handguard. You don't have to line up the barrel nut carefully to match the rail system. They simplified that process, and it also seems more solid once installed. Multiple QD sockets are placed around the handguard, each with an anti-rotation insert, so if you run a sling, it stays locked. Another small but smart addition is the steel inserts for the handguard's alignment. That makes it less likely to shift or wear if you bang the rifle around. The lower uses Aero's enhanced M4E1 design, which includes a bigger magwell and built-in trigger guard. That means faster magazine changes and fewer places for grime to hide. The upper and lower fit together tightly, leaving no wiggle or rattle. After you chamber around, it feels like one solid piece. Out on the range, it's easy to see why some folks call this Aero's best AR yet. The recoil impulse is gentle, thanks to a mid-length gas system and a muzzle device that helps keep you on target for quick follow-up shots. The stock trigger is functional, though it's nothing special. If you're looking for hair-splitting precision, you might drop in a match trigger, but if you only need a good all-purpose setup, the mil-spec trigger will do the job. With good ammo, sub-MOA groups aren't out of the question, and the free-float barrel setup keeps everything consistent when you're firing in bursts. Anyone who's into prepping or who just appreciates compact, suppressed ARs might find the Angstadt Prophet fascinating. This system changes how integrally suppressed uppers work by surrounding the barrel with the suppressor itself, yet the total length is still 16 inches, so you aren't dealing with an SBR. You skip the extra tack stamp for the short barrel because legally it's a rifle with a standard length. You only worry about the suppressor stamp. Angstadt uses a design where the barrel extends inside the can, so your overall length doesn't balloon. The end result is a 5.56 that behaves more like a short-barreled carbine, though it's entirely above board in terms of paperwork. If you want to remove the can, it unthreads easily thanks to a hub mount system, and you can use that can on other guns, even up to 45 ACP or 300 blackout. It's not as whisper quiet as a dedicated 5.56 suppressor, but the trade-off is less back pressure and more versatility. Weight isn't bad either because the parts are made of grade 5 titanium, which strikes a balance between lightness and durability. The design is intended to be friendly with standard AR-15 components. You can stick with your usual handguard, gas block, or upper if you want. They plan to sell the suppressor and barrel separately for around $795 for the can and $250 for each barrel, so you can switch calibers or barrel lengths without buying an entire new rig. That's a plus for folks who like modular setups. Rumor has it some OEM manufacturers will offer complete rifles built around the Prophet. If you're the type who wants an integrally suppressed AR but hates the double stamp hassle of a short barrel rifle plus suppressor, this might be right up your alley. The planned release is in the second quarter of 2025, so it's worth keeping an eye on if you value a sleek, suppressed system with minimal red tape. If you've been around the AR scene, you know Geissele is famous for ultra-rugged rifles and triggers that feel amazing. Now they've jumped into the PDW realm with the GDP, a short-barreled pistol that's built to run 5.56 NATO or 300 blackout. With an 8-inch barrel, it's compact enough for tight spaces or stowing in a pack. Despite the short size, reliability doesn't get sacrificed. That's mainly because Geissele fitted it with a proprietary buffer system, a shortened bolt travel, and the phase array gas system to smooth out the cyclical rate. You'll see two main versions, one with a telescoping brace, or stock if you SBR it, that flips in and out quickly, and another with a collapsible variant. Each one has robust QD points for your sling, along with a better cheek weld than most PDW braces offer. That means you can bring the gun up to your shoulder and get solid control instead of an awkward hold. Geissele's BCG is coated with their nano-weapon technology, so it shrugs off carbon and moisture. The barrel is cold hammer-forged and chrome-lined, which means it should keep its accuracy for a long time, even if you mag dump daily. The PDW also ships with a Hux WRX muzzle device that's suppressor-ready. You can just throw on your favorite can if you want to keep things quiet. The phase array gas system is the biggest reason why the rifle's recoil and gas blowback are more manageable than you'd expect. It's nice not having to fight the muzzle during rapid fire, and it's even better if you plan to shoot suppressed. In terms of actual accuracy, you won't be beating bench rest records, but you can land hits at medium ranges just fine, and up close it's a breeze to put multiple shots on target fast. Sig Sauer has been releasing quite a few AR variants, and the M400 SDIX series is another one they're proud of. It's a fully ambidextrous 5.56 rifle with a 16-inch barrel and a free-floated handguard. SIG basically took their M400 design and refined the ergonomics, then dropped in a better trigger. The result is something geared toward people who want a turnkey solution that's ready for defensive use or competition. They gave the rifle an ambi-bolt release, ambi-mag release, and an ambi-charging handle, so it doesn't matter if you're left-handed or just like being able to manipulate it from both sides. A Magpul SL stock and a SIG pistol grip round out the furniture. The stock is comfortable to shoulder, and the grip has a nice contour that keeps your hand from slipping. The 16-inch 1-7 twist barrel is good for heavier match bullets, so if you plan on running 69 grain or 77 grain rounds, you'll get tight groupings. It's topped with a flash hider that also helps with muzzle control. Since it's a 5.56, recoil isn't huge to begin with, but the muzzle device reduces rise enough to keep you on track for quick follow-up shots. At the range, you'll appreciate how crisp the flat blade match trigger feels. It's not so light that you'll have accidental discharges, but it's definitely more refined than a standard GI trigger. Some folks say it breaks around 4 to 7 pounds, though it might lean closer to 4.5 if you're slow and deliberate. That's more than enough to shrink your group sizes compared to a gritty mil-spec. And those are 7 of the newest rifles from SHOT Show 2025. Which one caught your interest the most? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more.